Victory Heat Rally was developed by Sky Devil Pop and published by Playtonic Games, released on October 3, 2024. Sky Devil Pop, an indie company located at Las Vegas. Hey! The upcoming Las Vegas Grand Prix is coming up as well. What a coincidence! This was a project started by two individuals by the name of Ian and Aiden, two brothers that love motorsport and racing since they were very young. And they also love racing games made by Sega in the 80s and 90s. And because of their interest, they decide to unleash their never-ending passion for this project. Originally started as a Kickstarter on October 13, 2020, that lasted for an entire month, the project would prove to be successful enough as they received a total of $29,251 out of the targeted $25,000. The project would be about a tribute to the yesteryear of Sega Golden Arcade series, but more specifically, Power Drift, a game that uses 2D sprites, but the visual scaling makes it look like it is traveling in 3D. The project will undergo multiple changes over the years, and unfortunately, I was only aware of it when I played the shakedown demo last year. So yeah, I was late to the party, or else I would have been the one contributing for the Kickstarter, but hey, that doesn't stop my hype from going up higher. The game was available on Steam and mobile devices, and yes, I already own this game on Steam, but I will be playing this game on mobile devices because this game is pretty simple and you can pretty much get the hang of it. And I'm just gonna say right now, it's the best game of 2024, no exaggeration, I'm serious. You got your steering, you got your brake, your accelerator, although you can turn on or off all the acceleration, and a special button by the name of Power Slide. I love the power sliding mechanic, which reminds me of Crash Team Racing because there, you also have the power slide to gain enough boost to go faster than your rival. It's the same here, minus the hopping. There are 3 different boosts depending on how long you boost. The boost wouldn't go off immediately though, as there is a brief moment where it will stay as it is as you power slide around the corner. The power slide will stay locked within the direction as if it's being frozen in time, and if you're changing direction to resume the power slide, the power boost will continue to stay put, allowing you to build up the boost until it reaches maximum level. This allows for a smart maneuver where you have to think about whether to continue boosting or just build up the boost for as long as you can hold it. The track design themselves have different corners that let you decide to whether to boost right away or hold it, and you need to master the power sliding to even stand a chance of winning. You need the skills like the good old days. As a result, you will be going very fast as if you're riding along the wind, reaching 200 km per hour, putting F1 cars to shame, and putting Max Verstappen to shame as well. The sense of speed is pretty noticeable, and the game moves at a very fast pace with little to no slowdown. It reminds me of Daytona, USA, where you drive so fast, power sliding everywhere, the car vibrates all the time, and you burn those rubbers on the road with smokes everywhere. It got a similar energy to it. Speaking of arcade memories, let me just say the visual is very vibrant. It's bright, eye-popping, and colorful enough to draw your attention, just like the arcade games doing everything they could to make you play them. For example, those SNK Neo Geo games will have bright visuals and have lots of color palette within to make it so gorgeous. VHR shares some of the sentiment. The energetic atmosphere is so vast that it makes you want to race. I mean, just look at this. Do I have to say anything else? Something that you never see these days with AAA development. The other reason VHR stood out for me is the character roster. I love the characters so much. The characters feels like those that you normally see back in the arcade roots. Creative design everywhere, open-minded, and everyone seemed to be fine with it. You know how back then when Formula 1 have great girls and no one cares about it. They are not afraid to showcase their concept, and what we got here was fantastic. Apart from the characters, you also got minimal customization, like suspension and tires that affect your speed and the statistic of the car itself. There are also some dialogue to show the personality, with some really good 3D polygonal model. And that's why Chrissy is the best girl. Speaking of fantastic, I gotta mention the tracks. Oh my gosh, I love the track environment. There are different themes for each location, and it feels like you are going on a grand tour. One for the road, anyone? You race on ocean, farm, mine, desert, snow, and even a theme park. What's not to like? Coupled on with the aforementioned eye-catching visuals, everything felt so 90s, when life was better back then. The track design are unique too, so you won't feel like going the same circle every time. And not to mention, each circuit, for the most part, only lasts around 1 or 2 minutes. Which reminds me of Rallycross as well, where most of the track lasts around 1 or so minutes, so which means you can able to learn the track easily and won't feel like monotonous going through a couple laps. I also love the pseudo 3D from the 2D sprites. One of the reasons people were interested with this game is the ability to simulate 3D graphic in a 2D material, which you can see from the beta footage, where they try to emulate Power Drift style graphic. And although most had polygons during the development, until the final version, the scaling of visual nevertheless still look pretty good. And when you compare the past and present, the game sure came a long way. And while some people don't like it because it lost the power drift element to it, I gotta disagree. I feel like the game we had now looks most better than what we had so far in the past. Sorry, that's just my opinion. The game have multiple modes, but you will be spending all of your time in the championship mode, aka story mode, where that's all your progression will take place. There are also 3 groups in the championship. You start with Alpha, then work your way to X, and then Group Z, with each having 3 cups, with multiple races within, all culminating with a Grand Prix at the end of the cup. And that's where all the tracks will be located. Every time you finish a race, those tracks will reappear as one of the few tracks for the Grand Prix at the end of the championship. Enough time for you to learn them back and forth. Among the cups contain multiple modes. The bread and butter is of course Circuit and Rally. Circuit is self-explanatory. You drive a few laps on a racetrack, around the circle, overtake rivals and win the race. Rally is a little bit different. It's a point A to point B racetrack, and just like rallying, you race while listening to your co-driver giving out direction from his pace notes. And yes, it's a reference to Sega Rally. Sega one-hit wonder, where the first game is always iconic, but the sequel just couldn't live up to the name. Apart from your circuit and rally stuff, there's also side quests, where you can do multiple challenges, like boosting, drifting, and avoiding the cone, etc. It really feels like Gran Turismo license test because these are really tough. The difficulty curve here is pretty higher compared to this racing. Whilst in racing mode, you can easily cruise to the front if you know what you're doing. Here it's like you have to master your skill set, you have to understand the control, everything, the power sliding, the acceleration, everything, all the controls if you want to be very good to get the highest score. After you finish the Grand Prix, you can try your hands on unlocking the rivals from each of the cups by racing them in the dramatic boss battle. You and your rival have a health bar, and your objective is to try to finish ahead of them in order to drain his health bar, which is basically Tokyo Extreme Racer where you do the same. It's pretty fun, although just like the challenge side quest, it can be a little bit tough to get it done on your first few attempts. You have to learn the courses, each of them, as they get tighter and tighter, learn the power sliding, learn the control, learn to not hit the barrier, to not get left behind, so on and so forth. And the good news is that there's no rubber banding. Whether on the racetrack, whether on whatever modes or the boss battle, as long as you can stay ahead of rivals, there is no rubber banding, you can leave them in the dust. If you're good at the game, then you're good at the game. That's all you need to know. Oh, you can even hit the lap car into the distance. Burnout style. What's not to like? No racing game is perfect without a fantastic soundtrack. Victory Heat Rally is no exception. The game have this style of Ridge Racer, bass, techno, rave. And considering that I love the Ridge Racer soundtrack apart from one of them, this is a welcoming addition. And you have to give credit to two individuals that contributed the most effort. Gwiz and Robta, two people that I never heard of previously. Wow, they cooked up a perfect storm. Their soundtrack have that Ridge Racer style, and you want to headbang and go beyond the limits. There are other soundtracks, but I'll let you all listen. Also, be sure to buy the soundtrack on Steam because it's worth getting it. That is my review on Victory Heat Rally, a fantastic love letter to the arcade racing games back in the days. I love the vibrant visual, I love the fantastic environment, I love the sprites, I love how the 2D environment material meets with the 3D stuff very smoothly. I love the headbanging soundtrack, I love the power sliding mechanic, I love the sense of speed. The controls are very easy no matter if you're playing on PC or even mobile. They all are really welcoming and easy to learn. I love the attention to detail of the car when you're sliding, going fast or just burning the tires. I love the character design, I love the dialogue, I love the tracks, I love pretty much everything about the game. Although there's a little bit problem, the game is too easy. For the most part, when you do all the cups and the Grand Prix, those are pretty much pushovers, and once you master the skill of power sliding, those are very easy and you won't have to have so much attempts going back to try to win. Same cannot be said about the side quests and boss battle though. Those have inconsistent difficulty curves and it's gonna take you a while to master every single one of them. Some can make you lose your mind, some can be easy, and I hope that the developer can fix this issue because frankly some of the challenges can just drive you insane, no pun intended. Speaking of content, there's not much to it. Yes, there is the championship mode where you be spending most of your time, but that's all you're gonna do. The arcade mode, which is basically pick the cups from the championship without any story, and that's about it. Also, you have to literally unlock everything from the championship mode first to unlock it in the arcade mode. So what was the point of the arcade mode if you're not gonna let me do it? If you're gonna make me play the championship mode first? As for the content, the car, the characters, they left a lot to be desired as well. I would love to see the characters, each of them, have their own separate campaign, different story mode, different sets of races, because this game screams more content. Yeah, sure, once you beat all the toughest rival, what you do is you can go back and just challenge the lap record in time attack, and that's about it. You will still smoke all your rivals on the track anyway in the championship, so I would like to see more of it, different characters, backstory, so that I will actually care about them, or else I will stick with my crazy girl. And yeah, you can see here I didn't really unlock all of them. I know. There need to be more track as well, because the game can be completed championship wise 4-5 hours if you're good enough, and that's about it. And while the game encourages you to return back because the tracks can be very fun to drift around, I would love to have more content, please. Thank you. The slight flaws does not change the fact that this is a game that I would love for the rest of my life, and it rightfully deserves the Game of the Year 2024 award. So to recap, the game itself pays tribute to Sega classic arcade racer. Just like Power Drift or any other super skilled game, the pace note is basically Sega Rally. The tires squeaking, producing smokes, going at a breakneck speed is a love letter to Daytona USA 2. The rival battle is a homage, literally, to Tokyo Extreme Racer. The drifting is taken from Crash Team Racing. The expressive character themselves are kinda look like those that you would see in the Neo Geo arcade games. Soundtrack is based on Ridge Racer, and you can even crash into lap traffic burnout style. This game is an embodiment of perfection, a love letter to the entirety of arcade racer. Doesn't matter if it's the 80s, 90s or 2000, you all are welcome to the party. Victory Heat Rally is a game that you will never see frequently these days. In the day and age where everyone else are striving to aim for realism, something else was lost, which is the creativity. Everyone was so busy becoming the next Forza, Turismo Corsa, that it just kinda left a sour taste in the racing game community. If you're planning to leave the gaming industry due to how polluted it had become, and if you're planning to just leave entirely, stop playing game, please check out the indie scene. Please check out Victory Heat Rally, and make that game your last one if you want to quit video games entirely, because there's frankly no hope left in the AAA development. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all at the checker flag.